Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are at peace. At least until the Allies decide we're not anymore. And when that happens, it's going to get very spicy indeed. So we're going to need to be a little concerned about that for sure. For now, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves another civilian factory constructing somewhere. The question is, where can we construct it? Well, we might not be able to still. It's a little bit hard to say. Oh, we're apparently auto-saving. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Ah, it's over here. Okay, fantastic. So we'll get that going, and that will, of course, become our top priority for right now. Excellent. So we'll get that going, and we also need to do a bunch more things. Specifically, we need to get some research going, but we also need to think about what this is going to end up being. Now, off camera, I've already changed up our Russian defenses over here. There are some areas that we could get away with not defending, but most of these areas we can't. And this does, yeah, they're canceling their Lend-Lease, that's not surprising. This does mean that we need 86 minimum divisions to defend this. Okay. That's definitely a little bit on the spicy side. So that's good to know for sure. We have elite forces finished up. That's great. We're not really going to start working on those for the time being. We will want to get some of those going soon enough, but now is not the time. We have lots of troops moving around, and so does everyone else. We should assume that the Allies are going to come after us at some point fairly soon. What I'd really like to do is get the United States out of the Allies. That would be an ideal scenario right now. Now, we are currently promoting down in the Argentine Republic, and that's okay. It's growing. I mean, this one here. There we go. The UNF is at 14% over there. Sure. So that's taking some time, to be sure. So we will continue to allow that to happen. We also need to finish up a lot of construction here. The question is, do we actually care about building these naval base levels at this point? That is a question, isn't it? And I think the answer to that is yes, we do care. Okay, so we just finished up some paratrooper research. That's everything that we can do here for now. There will be more later. We have all of our support companies researched, including our motorized rocket artillery. Fantastic. We can just grab some of this light tank stuff and the super heavy stuff and, you know, all of this random nonsense in here that isn't super impactful for us. But we can just get that started for the time being. Invisible ink. Okay, that finished up. That's great. We're going to continue working on maxing out our intelligence agency as well. Yugoslavia just canceled their non-aggression pact with us. Okay. I assume they're a member of the Allies. Yes. Yes, they are. Okay. It's going to get real spicy. There's no real way around that. No real way at all. We want to get our Coast Guard fully recruited up before we have any interactions, shall we say, with the Allies. Now, we're currently, I think, losing relations with the Americans. Yes, that is accurate. And our relations with the British are currently being improved. So that's great. Those are the important ones that we need to work with here. Nationalist Spain is, of course, over here, and they are our puppet. We would be interested, potentially, in getting Portugal into our faction. In fact, we'd be quite interested on that. Portugal holds pretty significant holdings in Africa over here. What do they have as far as resources over here? Okay, not a lot. Good to know. Very good to know. Well, we're mostly just chilling at this time and doing some diplomacy work and some construction work. We have gotten a lot of war exhaustion. There's no doubt about that. And in theory, I think since we're at peace, our generated world tension should be ticking down? It is, but I don't think it ticks down in terms of their opinion of us, because that's 109 now. I think that did tick down. I think that did tick down. If that's the case, that's really good. Greece is canceling their non-aggression pact. That's not shocking. That's completely okay. So we're going to continue working on all of our constructions here. I think we're going to prioritize these naval bases far lower. We'll allow this one to stay. But we want to get a bunch of infrastructure done. We can queue those up kind of top priority for now. There we go. And we also eventually, and we're not interested in really pumping these out, but we are interested in getting land forts and coastal forts set up in our defensible locations. Interesting that the US allowed the Hawaiian Republic to exist. That's fascinating, actually. Absolutely remarkable. So we are, of course, going to continue to be worried about the American opinion of us. This is definitely getting better, though. We're going to go ahead and go back to improving relations with them. There we go. And we're just chilling at this point. Chilling at peace. Well, that's interesting. The UK just declared war on these lads. We can invite them to the faction, but if we do that, we'll be at war with the Allies, and we are not prepared to be at war with the Allies. We are incredibly unprepared for that. So, bye-bye, Norway. Excellent. We are currently missing fighter production, but that's okay. We're switching over to jet fighters, of course. And these researches, they're just going to go super quick. We're not really interested in building them, but they'll be good to have on paper in case we decide we want them later on. Our resources are still pretty spicy, particularly in the steel department. I would love to get some trades with the Russian Federation rolling. Their opinion of us is pretty bad. Quite bad, in fact. Okay. Well, we are planning on fighting the Allies eventually, but right now is not the time for that. Right now is the time for some diplomatic maneuverings, working on our manpower, and just generally working on our overall setup here. This is quite the lag spike that's occurring, and I'm guessing this has something to do with what's going on in Norway. I don't know what was going on in Norway, but something clearly was. Plastic explosives have finished up, and we are, of course, going to grab suicide pills. Okay. That's, an interesting term. I would actually have named this cyanide pills, personally, but okay. That's fine. So that is underway, and we do have a fair amount of resources over here that we want to get more of. So let's go ahead and prioritize infrastructure production in areas that have resources here. Oh, hello, we can queue up over here as well. That'll be very, very solid. So we want to prioritize anything that is over here in terms of our production here, our infrastructure growth. So let's just see, going down this list, if the game can keep up. Okay, let's just do it this way. Okay, we don't care about the naval bases. What about these repairs? Ah, yes. Repairs down over here are quite important to us. Repairs here are important to us as well. Other repairs, not so much. This one is important. This one is important. This one is actually quite important. This one is not. This one is. This one is not. Is this one important? I don't think so. Transdanubia. For now, no. Okay. And infrastructure creation here is important, but this one is not. Next, we know that there's going to be a fair amount of resources available here. So let's go ahead and go through the same way and determine. I guess we could get some extra oil there potentially. Anything else up through here that is just mega important for us? Rubber is okay, I guess. What we're really interested in here is some northern Hungary. Look at all of that aluminum. That's definitely something that we want to think about in terms of annexing. Okay, these all become quite important. Big amounts of steel here. This one's not important. This one is. Good resources there. Anything else up this way? Nope. Okay, we're good. So that's kind of the order we're going to construct in. Although, we do want this civilian factory top priority, and we want repairs on any other civilian factories top priority as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to increase the priority on that military factory. There we go. And probably these dockyards as well. Naval bases is less important for sure right now. And then the absolute top priority here is going to be any civilian factories. Followed by military factories. Followed by dockyards. Followed by infrastructure. Like that. Excellent. Many of these will finish up very quickly indeed. And will immediately get put to work in working through this queue, which is an extensive queue. These guys want to join our faction. They're too late. We tried to get them to join our faction earlier. They refused. At this point, we're not going to go to war with the Allies. That's not going to be a thing. These guys are just screwed. There's no way around it. So that's fantastic. And looking at our resource map mode here, there's these guys over here. Now, they are our Reichskommissariat, so that's great. And how are they actually doing in terms of... Okay, they are Greater Hungary? I think they're Greater Hungary, right? I want to be in standard map mode here. State owner is Greater Hungary. Okay. So, Greater Hungary here, we want to definitely start a Lend-Lease with them, and we are going to send them quite a large number of convoys. So we need to reduce their autonomy by how much exactly? It was 750. Okay. So we need to reduce by 750 here. So that will be a grand total of 1,100 convoys. In fact, we can reduce that down to 1080. There we go. Excellent. Now, that's going to be a lot of our convoys. That's understood. These guys, they can go directly into this army unit. Fantastic. This modern tank brigade, of course, is going to help fill out this army. Wonderful. How are we doing on our recruitments over here? We can actually deploy these guys. This is not going to be good for our manpower. That is well and truly understood. In fact, we are going to stop production on a number of these and slow down our recruitment down to just 6 divisions. That should help. It won't fix the issue. I can tell you that right now. Okay, so these guys, they need a total of 86. So 2 of these can actually be moved somewhere else. We're going to move them into this army, who needs 74 in total. So that's quite a lot, right? That's for sure. That's definitely quite a lot. Okay. Well, we are going to continue production on our tank units over here. That's great. I believe that was another one just finishing. Yes, indeed. We're going to send them off over this way. There's only so many more that we need there. Tank destroyers. This isn't very relevant. We're just cruising through these techs. Fantastic. And we are hoping that we're going to get a little bit more manpower here soon enough. We're hoping that we get more of that non-core population eligible. That would be great. How can we actually improve that? Let's see. This is not non-core. Nor is this. I mean, we don't want to go further down this if we can help it. Let's see. We're on a war economy right now. And that's good. We want to remain that way. Total mobilization would be fine, but we aren't at war, so that's not going to be a possibility. As far as replacing any of these guys go, improve relations, opinion. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything in here that would allow us to do what I want to do. But hey, we're basically done cruising our way through here. That's wonderful. Our agency is ready to go, and we're going to grab commando training next. Wonderful. That is, of course, using up civilian factories. We're well aware of this fact. And we need a lot more in terms of our steel, but for right now, we're focused on building up all of this infrastructure. That is our top priority right now. And in fact, I'm going to take these guys here, and I'm going to move all of these naval bases directly to the bottom of the list. They are low priority at this time. Repairing this naval base is low prio, as is all of this for right now. And these guys move to the bottom of the list as well. In fact, that should probably move to the top of the list. There we go. That looks good. So we'll have those factories done, and we are working away at this infrastructure. And this will chip away at our insufficient resources problem. We don't necessarily expect this to solve that problem. Ah, they want us to demobilize our economy. So this would switch us to partial mobilization. Okay, so let's look into that quick. We're still on a war economy, and that's probably better for us, right? In so much as we have 5% less in terms of partial mobilization. But I'm willing to bet that if we don't do this, bad things are going to happen. So we're going to go ahead and demobilize our economy. I'm not necessarily happy with it, but it'll do. Maybe with our economy demobilized, we might be able to do some resource prospecting. I don't know why we haven't had that pop up. I wish we had. It might have something to do with infrastructure, which we've kind of fallen behind on. So that's something we need to think about, but I need to also look into why that is currently not happening. So we have low supplies up in the Brazilian theater up here, and yeah, that is definitely a thing. So we need to work on prioritizing in our construction infrastructure in these two states. So let's go find that. Here's one. This becomes top priority for right now. And here's the other. That becomes top priority. We do not want to take losses while we're in this state. So we'll get that going. Basic amphibious tractors. Wonderful. And we'll grab improved Amtrak. Excellent. Absolutely fantastic. So how are we doing on our resistance over here? pretty high in this area. Okay, we should definitely move this man over here to root out resistance over here. That's going to become very important to us. And as we're working on this, we can see that our resources are slowly improving. Very slowly. In fact, we can probably get away with not trading as much oil here. In fact, let's completely cut off our oil and see what happens. This appears to be acceptable for right now. Yes. This is acceptable for now. It won't always be acceptable, but for now we're good. So that frees us up a lot more factories to work on this infrastructure, and that is great. We're really, really happy about that. We would also like to build additional civilian factories if we can help it, but of course, we can't. We can't help that. We're going to continue working our way through all of these techs. And it won't take all that long, actually. We are getting a decent amount of military growth here. 15k monthly growth in states. Not too shabby. But we are recruiting fairly heavily still. Now keep in mind that these 9 modern tank brigades here are one and done. We're not going to get any more beyond these. So that is absolutely fine. We are currently losing a little bit of fuel, and the question is, why? Our naval consumption went up. You know what? We probably don't need to have all this going on right now, since we are at peace. So we can just do this number, which I believe will dock them. Excellent. And now we're fine on fuel. Okay, so this is a modern tank brigade, of course, here, and goes into this army. We need 2 more for that army. And we'll have those fairly soon. And then after that, we will need 6 for this army. So you can see here, we have 8 divisions on the way. That's absolutely fine. Commando training just finished up, so we are going to grab Interrogation Techniques. Wonderful. We would like to get a couple more operatives. That would be wonderful as well. Unfortunately, we don't have any ways to get more at this time. Maybe if we became the Spy Master. Yes. Okay, that's great. So that slot will unlock in 50 days. We are the Spy Master. That's fine. We'll go ahead and do that. Having another operative would be very handy for us. So how are we doing on our steel here? We're down to 466 deficit. That's absolutely wonderful. We are exporting rubber at this time. And we're probably going to get to the point of exporting aluminum and tungsten soon enough. But we aren't doing that at this exact juncture. Are we able to deploy these lads? Yes, we are. Of course, we're only doing 6 at a time now. And that's completely fine. We are going to move these guys into, I believe it was this army that needed them? Yes. That needs a total of 74. This one needs 86, and we have it. This one needs 26, and we have it. This one needs 29, and we have it. So all we need now is a bunch more in this army here. Specifically, we need what? 45 in there. Okay, so I'm actually going to only recruit 5 at a time, and let's see here. This is going to be 3 additional. We are going to need 9 additional rounds at this rate. So we're going to bring this from 14 up to 23. Like that. Excellent. So we have more technologies that we can research. We can grab the anti-tank armored car. That's fine. And then I think that's everything in the infantry tree. Ah, we don't have Signal Company 4 down here. Let's go ahead and grab that. Excellent. So our war support isn't great right now. But that's okay. Sweden joined the Allies. We're not shocked by this. How are these guys doing down here? When's their next election? 1961? Okay, so we're going to continue working on getting UNF popularity there. That's absolutely great for us. And we're kind of low on our manpower. We already knew that, of course, and we're just backing off on this here, but we're also producing as many modern tanks as we can, and we're not changing this at this time. This is completely fine. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves light AA. Actually, we already got that one. Heavy SP artillery. There we go. Good old self-propelled artillery. So we are working on our infrastructure just as quickly as we can. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue building infrastructure. That's all there is to it. That's all we can do for right now. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.